the Autobot illusionist, coming right up. MS-B43 Shadow Master, a.k.a. Mirage, the stealth Autobot spy in his most G1 accurate form. I was immediately struck by how faithful this guy looks. He nails Mirage's color palette, silhouette, and every memorable detail. And the thing that jumped out at me right away is his color scheme, especially his use of light blue. His face, his shoulders, the size of his torso, his knee pads, his feet, and even his gun are all light blue. These features were this light blue in the G1 artwork and cartoon, but surprisingly, this is the first toy to give Mirage his proper colors, and it really helps give Mirage a more layered look. The attention to cartoon accuracy detail doesn't stop there. The white paint around the edges of the codpiece, the cuts in his elbow joint, his panel eyes, they're all spot on to the G1 artwork. These efforts make B43 the most faithful representation of cartoon Mirage at Legend scale, or maybe even any scale. Here's a side-by-side photo comparison with TE03, another great Mirage. Their body proportions are very close. TE03 has a slightly wider and longer chest, and Magic Square uses the light blue section to widen the torso and make the body look more complete. The chest cavity is not exposed on the sides like on TE03. B43's arms are shorter but not by much. They have very similar lower legs, but B43 has a longer lower half for the heroic look. From the side, Shadow Master clings better with a smaller backpack and thinner lower leg. From the back, they handle their backpacks almost exactly the same way, but the double hinges on B43 allow for far better waist rotation. With TE03 and B43 in hand, I wonder what's left for Takara Tomy to improve in official Mirage. Bringing UH27EX Mirage for a quick comparison. The most obvious difference between the two is their proportions. It's a choice dictated by material constraints. The minimal thickness for ABS to have a structural integrity is much thicker than for nylon. This explains why Magic Square Legend scale Carbots have better body proportions than their New Age counterparts, though the benefit is lost on larger bots. B43 takes full advantage of this. Some of the parts that fill out his upper body are the thinnest MS has done. It pays off in the completeness of his look. The paintwork is also quite unusual on Mirage. All his white parts are coated with matte paint. His chest, his arms, his thighs, they even got a tiny bubble on the chest. They must have painted the figure after assembly because the pins are also painted. In the Ratchet review, we saw how far Magic Square has come in the manufacturing of nylon parts in weight. Ratchet has the most brilliant weight, but still didn't have the perfect tone. On Mirage, the main benefit is that the white parts now look solid. They did this on Jazz too, but only his forearms. The signature markings are actually molded in and then painted. Just like the red cross on Ratchet and the number 4 on Jazz, something only Magic Square does. There's also some red paint on his chest, black on his shoulders, light blue on the knee pads and heels, and dark blue on the spoiler. Unfortunately, the color match between the paint and the molded nylon is an area that still needs improvement. So far, all MS car bots, and even some of their earlier larger bots, have had ball jointed shoulders. Mirage has hinged shoulders because they're involved in the transformation. They absolutely look better, but when fully lifted, his arms are too high due to the hinges being in the body rather than in the actual shoulders. And here's the error in the instructions. If the front wings are folded 180 like TE03, then the nose cone couldn't sit flush on his chest. Though it does give you more ab crunch. To tap it all in, the front wings should be folded 90 degrees and just sit on the sides of the waist. This looks much better but loses about 15 degrees of ab crunch. But that aside, the articulation is still outstanding. The head is on a ball joint and it goes up 90 degrees. Remember to untap the cockpit to give the head enough room to do so. The shoulder cannon is on a ball joint, good range of motion. The shoulder lifts 90. The shoulder pads moves on the double hinge, 360 arm rotation, ball jointed bicep so it also swings outward, single jointed elbow that goes over 90, and the hand rotates, 360 waist rotation, 30 degree ab crunch, the leg kicks forward about 100, to the side about 45 and doesn't go back at all. Mushroom thigh rotation, double jointed knee that goes the full range. The foot moves up over 30 degrees, the toe moves down about 45, the heel swings all the way to the front, and the ankle tilts 90. This is more than enough for Mirage to have some dynamic or even dramatic poses. Mirage only comes with his blaster, shoulder cannon, a laughing face, and that's all. The transformation is more involved than other car bots, but it feels very rewarding. The upper body transformation is refreshing, and the leg transformation reminds me of a B-31 Hound. The race car mode is far more faithful to the 1979 Leger GS11 than I expected. But the wheels are a bit small, just like the G1 artwork. The painted white and the dark nylon bring great contrast, and makes the silver on the rims, the vents, and the engine really pop. Put it right next to 27EX and you can see that B43's car mode has fewer gaps and looks more streamlined and accurate. It has a lot of faithful details like the cockpit, the engine, and the side pods. But the spoiler leaves much to be desired. Also, the car is lacking both the glossy paint and the actual markings. For plastic wheels, the car rolls very nicely. This Mirage is not just another bot in a lineup. He raises the bar in several ways with his robot and vehicle accuracy, his paint, and his engineering. It has been an interesting journey following Magic Square, with every new release bringing something new. Whether it is a new design decision or a small step forward in the build quality, it's growing and maturing, and that feels promising. And with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.